this be the first version that is working. This should spread when I press button. Yeah. The background is random color, but I can change hue, saturation, and value. These are three. They gain energy. They randomize color at the beginning. Each new generation gets random color based on the genetical diversity. Basically, the more different in colors they are, the more actually different in genetics they are. So, if fully random being is one color, then fully random being is another fully random color. That is how much different the color represents exact diversity. So it grows and it starts being slow. This is the time that it is slow, and the camera cannot even zoom. This I need to fix, if possible. To see it diverse, this should be the down should be ground and the up should be air. So there should be different system for that, different values. And there should be multicellular organism, and for now it is just one cell. This is as fast as it goes with my system. It is quite slow and it will be a lot slower. But it does not matter. It is still very fast compared to real life. And now I need to wait, for example, 2 seconds for each new generation. At least for each new iteration of time. That'd be so many more for actual change. See, the red one did not change much. They kill each other. That is how they die. They kill each other. I would make the more bottom it goes to be more difficult to gain energy from that. Not exactly that, but I would make the more goes in up direction or down. There are problems with that. So it is more difficult to go more down and more difficult to more go up. But this should be looping, going another end should enter another from the other direction. The horizontal part should be closed loop. This one starts evolving this color, this one this color. It evolves different colors. It does not mean that red is, of course, the same as the previous red. They are about equally different as previous red. It just so happened that some mutation go back to the original state and some go further into new state with color and with everything else. So the color just represents the rate of which would be changing. It represents the rate of change in general. It does not give idea to the rate of change. It does not correspond to the rate of change in the same cell, in the same organism. It's quite good. This cell happened to be red. It can be, of course, any color. But look, they're weird while there. It is weird how this stuff is red, this stuff is red, this stuff. So if red, then what else could it be? It could be less red, more red, but at the center is the more most probable. Hue. Hue. So hue and saturation. No. Hue can be looping, so it can go infinitely in one direction, always come up with the other end. It goes red, then if it goes back, it then loops to magenta, purple, blue, and in other way. If it goes purple, magenta, then red, then orange, then yellow. So it does not have that problem of being in the middle. But saturation, which is amount of color it has, is always in the middle. But maybe with the system I made it is not exactly. Yeah, it is still. Saturation is more towards the middle, just basic randomness. If I get 3 random numbers, they would mostly converge to middle. I can change that if necessary. Value as well. What the value? I don't understand the difference between saturation and value in 3 colors, red, green and blue, the way I use it, but I do prefer saturation and value. It does change. Yes, this is expected speed. It is not possible to be faster. It is ridiculous how computers supposedly work fast, but they do not work fast, see? Going on the edge of the screen. Move it. Oh no. Will I move down if I do this? Look at the colors. I wish it'd be faster. Well, that is the speed of calculation. Oh, look, this another one that I found. So just I change one thing in order to maybe fix camera. It should be, should be a bit faster, but it is less understandable to me how to fix it if it is broken, and it is more difficult to understand if it is broken. Look, this is what I got. I did not change color of the background. This is the one I began with. So it can zoom this much. This is the maximum amount of zooming. The camera works better. The camera is smoother for now, I think, compared to this is maximum zooming out. Camera should, yeah, better. I will stick with this. It seems better. First, each step should be in less length, time by time, in 2 different ways. First, I use waiting for the next step in order to not push engine too hard for I wanted to check with that, but obviously you do not want waiting with this, so I made every step at once. And that waiting, it requires some system that costs a little bit too. And either way, if it does not have that system, this has another system which makes it more faster even than without it. And camera works perfectly. I zoom and very fast after I get, so it, or is it working for there is no time for them to spread yet? So they do spread, and they do have genetics that determine how fast they gain energy, and what energy amount do they need to spread onto any random cell. So if multiple spread onto this cell, if it is alive, he'll die, and nobody will spread actually, for they all kill each other. Competition. If it is dead cell, if it does not have tree, then one random tree would be generated. So it goes on and off state depending on the previous state. Yeah. This one is more beautiful, and I saw it from the very beginning. Too bad you did not see it. Your camera works better, it is slightly faster. Beautiful. So in this matter, so they can evolve to lose energy per time, actually. But obviously, these who do evolve that, if they do not evolve something better to compensate, they will die off. So at average, trees that will be left are trees with energy requirement for creating a new generation very, very low, so they instantly create energy requirement, and energy gain per one time very high. So if energy gain per one time is equal or more to the energy required to spread, they would spread every turn, and that is as much as they would evolve. They would evolve to spread every turn, and not much more. That is the main. They would randomly evolve a bit higher energy requirement, gain energy than requirement for, if they fall back a little bit, they would not be at the dead space when they do not actually spread every turn. So the main one is a little bit over energy required, that they gain a little bit more energy every turn than they require to spread. And this is just 2 genes, and this one I actually testing live. It is actual testing for my editing. I'm editing this and test this project. The first showage was exported project, was actual product, and this is just from my testing ground, and it is faster. Now it does not make difference, it just shows that I did not care to export this. I rushed to show you because it was working good and it was beautiful. So this is the reason I will fix it with. I have one way to make it slightly faster, but so slightly that it will milliseconds faster for maybe just maybe milliseconds faster to load when it begins at the beginning. just remove that system that I have with. It might not even be 1 millisecond, but it should be a few milliseconds faster to load at the beginning, otherwise it will be the same. But this is still faster than the previous one. The camera works better. It definitely works better. Quite significantly. The camera is very bad now when I'm using it, but the previous one, but it's still useful, usable. But the previous one was quite not usable. This is quite good. It looks like South America, Brazil. And I'll say this is just 2 genes. There are many more systems I would add. And of course everything will be slower when I do add that. Quite beautiful, huh? What is also thing is I can check to see. Well, I did break this because I was going to check, but there are so many trees that single-celled plants that it did break.